As Director of Membership, I am delighted by your interest to serve as a State Ambassador for the Hospice and Palliative Nurses Association. Our effectiveness in the policy arena is dependent upon our ability to keep informed about policy issues at both the state and national levels. As a State Ambassador, you are critical to our understanding of policy issues in your state. Just as importantly, you will serve as a vital conduit for sharing state and national policy information to hospice and palliative care nurses around the country. The following video will help you better understand your role as an HPNA State Ambassador and introduce you to some of HPNA's advocacy resources. Let's take a closer look at today's session and what we're going to be covering. The main purpose of this session is to provide a political framework for you in order to create an understanding of HPNA's advocacy efforts to support nurses in the field, specifically on a state-by-state basis. One of the most important things to know about the State Ambassador program is that it's a relatively new program for HPNA. And as a new program, we are constantly asking for your feedback and patience as we continue to refine its structure and capabilities. Your input is invaluable to this process and ensures that HPNA has the capacity to effectively inform our membership about critical policy issues on a state and federal level. Here are a couple items that we're going to be covering in today's session. We're going to be providing background information on the HPNA State Ambassador program. We're going to talk about grassroots activism and what you can do as a HPNA member. We're going to discuss the role of the local chapters in the political process and how we can all make a difference in this regard, and also some state and federal issues that are currently on HPNA's radar. So let's get started. In June of 2007, the Public Policy Committee was asked by the HPNA Board of Directors to expand their focus to include policy issues at the state and national levels. A task force was soon formed, and they worked to develop a survey that was distributed to board members, the Public Policy Special Interest Group, and chapter leaders to determine their level of interest in such a project. This identified members interested in participating and determined the best way to proceed. They worked to develop the State Ambassador program. The purpose of the State Ambassador program is to develop a cadre of HPNA members with an interest or expertise in health policy who will be responsible for the following areas: following and informing the Public Policy Committee about critical policy issues at the state and regional levels, disseminate information about national policy issues to their constituents, and also assist with policy advocacy efforts as directed by the HPNA Board of Directors. Being a State Ambassador means that you're heavily involved in grassroots advocacy. One of the main responsibilities you have as a State Ambassador is to serve as a general resource for HPNA members in your area regarding legislative and regulatory issues at the state and national level. We also look to the State Ambassadors to encourage other HPNA members at the state and local levels to participate in HPNA public policy activities. These activities might include responding to grassroots call to action at the direction of the HPNA board, and also to participate in local chapter meetings having to do with advocacy. We also look for the State Ambassadors to assist with the development and presentation of HPNA advocacy training programs, and also communicate with HPNA chapters directly in their state to gather information about making visits when possible and offer to deliver presentations to the Public Policy Advocacy Committee. And also, we look for them to represent HPNA on state or local committees, coalitions, task force, and other work groups pertaining to nursing, hospice and palliative care, or related issues as requested. HPNA has the ability to be at the forefront of advocacy in our field, but we are only as robust as our membership. The power lies within you. One of the most important things a State Ambassador can do is to be prepared for an HPNA call to action. A call to action is a request from the national office that local members or State Ambassadors become engaged in the advocacy process and contact their legislators about a certain piece of legislation or policy. One of the most recent call to actions the HPNA National Office has put out was based around the Palliative Care and Hospice Education Training Act, or PCHETA. PCHETA is a strong piece of legislation, and HPNA put out a request for its members to contact their legislators to ask for co-sponsorship of the bill. This is just one of the examples that HPNA put out as a call to action. One of the things that we really look for is for our state ambassadors to be the leaders in these call to actions and participate in them, and also disseminate the information to local chapters or members in your area. HPNA's local chapters can play a critical role in grassroots advocacy. One of the things as a state ambassador we recommend doing is, if you have a chapter in your area that you're involved with, is to make a political action committee. This way, it's easy to share information and you engage others in the political process. Also, if you do have members that are interested in public policy and advocacy, mentor them and encourage them to become a state ambassador for HPNA. And also, an important part is to partner with other associations in your area. Many chapters have local ONS chapters and other nursing organizations in their area, and base meetings around exchanging notes on any advocacy or political efforts that are taking place. Ready to make a difference? Let's start by writing or meeting with your congressional leaders. Let's take a look into how to become more involved with political action. And we'll use the current call to action for HPNA, the PCHETA bill. As you can see, the PCHETA bill has a description on the HPNA website, as you will see on this slide. And this is your first step into better understanding this piece of legislation. The HPNA website has a vast amount of advocacy resources for you to utilize. For example, the PCHETA bill, there are direct links to the thomas.gov website descriptions, which thomas.gov is a government website that tracks current legislation in both the House and Senate. There is also a bill summary and also a co-sponsorship summary to see which legislators are co-sponsoring the bill. The HPNA website also gives you the ability to directly contact your local legislators and representatives, their leadership offices, Senate committees, House committees, and also, if you do not know who your legislators are, there are links to help you identify your congressional leaders. The HPNA website includes template letters and suggested text for you to utilize when contacting your local legislators. As you can see from the following slide, HPNA provides you with the outline and roadmap in order to communicate successfully with your local elected officials. As a state ambassador, we want you to have the tools in order to be a successful advocate for HPNA. On the HPNA website, you'll see sample letters for meeting requests, meeting follow-up, election congratulatory messages that you can send to elected officials after they have won their election. And also you can view actual letters that have been sent on the behalf of HPNA and other HPNA members to legislators, so you can craft your message effectively. Some other helpful tools that state ambassadors have at their fingertips are HPNA public policy resources, the frequently asked questions section, and also collaboration, where you can see where your voice is being heard through HPNA. HPNA does a lot of work with coalitions and other nursing organizations, and you can see what has been done on your behalf by HPNA. HPNA is also proud to offer an advocacy toolkit, the State Ambassadors Program area, and also the Advocacy Advisory Team, where you can view current activities that were done on your behalf by the advisory team. There are also multiple online courses that you can take on the topic of advocacy and being an effective state ambassador for HPNA. HPNA highly recommends that all state ambassadors take the online programs based around advocacy. And there are also CE credits available with them, so you can get your continuing education hours while learning more about advocacy. So what's next? Now that you know the ins and outs of the State Ambassador Program and all the resources that are available, what do you do now? One of the first things you can do is establish a relationship with your state and federal officials. So take some time, contact your legislators, and offer to be a resource for them as they move forward in their tenure. You also want to follow state nursing legislation on the state and federal levels, and also read the HPNA Legislative Assistant newsletter. The newsletter will be provided to you as a state ambassador at least once a month. This newsletter will give you advocacy updates from HPNA's federal point of view, and also any state updates as they become available. And as always, you can report any news of local advocacy efforts going on to the State Ambassador SIG. The email for the State Ambassador SIG is listed on this slide. But the key is to get involved at any level.